In 1983, the ARPANET adopted a TCP/IP address, and researchers began to assemble the networks of networks that became the modern internet. At the moment, we leaped from the industrial age to the information age, and years later, man realized data was worth more than diamonds and gold, making stuff complicated. In the beginning, this video was supposed to be a discussion of the future of tech industry in Uganda and its impact upon the general population. But upon doing research, we believe this was supposed to be a series of videos because tech is a huge sector and so is Uganda. Now in this video, let's talk about Uganda and how it plans to combat the climate change. The Sahara has been expanding in the past few decades and soon might reach equatorial Africa if neglected. Now for a country like ours, whose largest percentage of economy relies on agriculture, we are in for some problems. The country has already experienced an increase in adverse weather patterns such as prolonged drought in the north, landslides in the east, and devastating floods. The main causes of climate change in Uganda are agriculture, inefficient cooking fuels, and poor waste disposal. That's the second-hand cars that have a high emission rate. Well, the country has a plan to combat climate change and environment degradation, which includes grills or cook stoves that economize charcoal for electric car companies. Since this is our first video in the series, we are going to talk about the electric car company. The only way an electric car is supposed to reduce on the carbon emission is if the majority of the population uses them. But the cost per unit of a Kira EV or electric vehicle is 130 million Ugandan shillings. The monthly income of the average Ugandan living in the urban area is about 700,000 Ugandan shillings. In order to buy the car, let's say he saves half of his or her income. It will take them 30 years to be able to afford it. To me, that means it's pointless, unless they are building the company for status and other reasons. Besides, the Kira EV is just like any other electric car, but you have to admit it looks cool compared to other electric cars. And it's cheap. Well, the lowest price school electric car I found was at $30,000 US. The Kira EV is at $35,000 US, but after importation and tax, it will be roughly at around $70,000 US. The only source of electricity in Uganda are hydroelectric dams, which are known for their environmental degradation. Before the completion of the Nile hydroelectric dam, there used to be a tourist hotspot called Bujagali Falls. Sadly, it no longer exists. So the private cars aren't an option, but we still have hope with the Kayola bus, also another electric vehicle for public transportation. The Kayola bus are said to be solar electric buses, so at least they'll have a clean source of fuel. In our stuck situation, it is sad to see we are thinking about oil drilling, which will make our top 1% of that top 1% richer, but leaving the country with environmental degradation. Minerals aren't the way to go in order for a country to prosper, most especially in Africa. I guess we have all heard of Congo, the richest country in the world regarding natural resources, but is actually one of the poorest countries in the world. Drilling oil will worsen our climate, yet it's what makes us the pearl of Africa, and all for what? So that the top 1% of the top 1% get some quick money. In his book, My African Journey, Winston Churchill referred to Uganda as the pearl of Africa because of its flora and fauna. It is sad to see us destroy it.